Right, welcome. This is just a short presentation to help guide your son or daughter through the options process from Year 9 into Year 10. I'm just going to run through the idea behind it and some of the permutations and options that are available to your son or daughter. So, firstly, the intention is for all of our current Year 9s, they do 4 options at the moment, they're going to drop down to 3. This will allow them to sort of really focus and concentrate on a number of qualifications that we feel by concentrating and focusing it will allow them to get the best outcomes possible moving forward. It's important to note at this stage that they will not be able to pick any new subject. So it's that currently doing 4 option subjects, they'll be dropping it down to 3. Although they will be able to drop a subject, there are some limitations, restrictions. This is in line with government policy. The government say that all students, with the exception maybe 1 or 2 students with significant special needs, should be studying one of these what they call academic subjects. So geography, history, computer science, French or German. Okay, but I'll explain the importance of that in a moment or two. So, you might remember that your son and daughter last year when they picked their options, some were put on the Progress 8 pathway and some were put on the EBAC pathway. The EBAC is still important, there's no two ways about it. This process potentially could allow your son or daughter to drop a humanities subject or a modern foreign language. However, we would still encourage students who are currently on the EBAC pathway to continue with it because it will allow them to achieve a range of qualifications which will be particularly attractive to universities. So, in a few weeks' time, your son or daughter will receive an options form, and this will be completed in school. However, there will be a number of guidance opportunities, there'll be assemblies, there'll be the parents' evening as well. So, you know, the students will be really well informed before they come to their final decision. Although the students are only dropping one option, we will ask for a first preference and a second preference. We'll do our best to honour the first preference as subject that your son or daughter would like to drop, but we cannot 100% guarantee it. So we will ask for a second preference as well. So I'm just going to go through a few examples just to give you a better idea about how it might affect your son or daughter. So we've got example 1 here. Now this student is currently studying in their options geography, photography, construction and performing arts. Now you'll notice I've highlighted geography in red because that is one of those academic subjects that the government are saying that students must be studying one of those subjects. Now, because this student is only studying one of these academic subjects, they'll have to stick with geography. They can't drop geography. However, they will be able to drop one of the other 3 subjects, photography, construction, or performing arts. So you can see there where the restrictions come in a little bit. They can't drop geography because that is one of those academic subjects. And here's how the student might fill in their option form. So it may be that they choose their first choice of subject to drop would be construction. And just as I explained earlier, we do need a second preference just in case. Their second option of a subject to drop would be performing arts. Here's a second example. Now you'll notice that this student is studying geography, French, construction, performing arts. So they're actually studying 2 of these academic subjects. They're also following the EBAC pathway because they've got a humanities subject in there being geography and they've also got a language, that being French. Now because they're studying 2 academic subjects, that does give them a little bit more flexibility. So they could theoretically drop geography and keep French, or drop French and keep geography, as well as construction and performing arts. They could, however, decide that they might decide to drop construction or performing arts. And again, like I said earlier, the EBAC is still, in the government's mind, important. So we said we try and encourage as many students as possible to continue with the EBAC. So this student, when they fill in their options form, it might look something along those lines. So they might decide to drop geography as their first choice and performing arts as their second choice of subject, second preference to drop. And we've got a third example. Now, this is where a student is studying 3 of these academic subjects as well as performing arts. Again, that student can choose, got quite a lot of flexibility to drop one of those academic subjects, or they may wish to keep them and drop performing arts. So their options form might look a little bit like this. So they've got the first preference and then they've got the second preference. Just to go through the sort of timeline of events, these dates are broadly, a little bit approximation, but they should be round about correct. So the week, round about the 13th of February, letters are going to go out to Year 9 parents explaining that the intention for sons and daughters to be dropping one of their GCSE options, going down from 4 to 3 subjects. 27th of February, we're going to have an assembly. That's after half term in assembly. I'm going to go through with the students the process, make sure they're clear on what they can and can't do. We've also got on the 7th of March, Year 9 Parents' Evening. And that's an important event for a number of different reasons, but it also gives you an opportunity to talk to subject staff, perhaps asking them whether their subject is the one that their son or daughter should be continuing with or dropping. And also I'll be around at that evening just to answer any queries about the whole process of dropping a GCSE option. And then, round about the week beginning the 12th of March, the students will fill in their options forms during tutor time. Okay, so quite a lot of opportunities to ask questions, gain further guidance and so forth. And the purpose, I suppose, of this video is again to provide a bit of guidance. In addition, on the options form, we also have, towards the bottom, a little table where students can fill in to express which sciences they would like to follow in Year 10 and then into Year 11. Currently, students study the Trilogy course. Now, that is basically a double GCSE, but it blends biology, chemistry and physics together. Now, what we're kind of exploring the possibility of students doing 2 single sciences, right? So, for example, rather than doing the Trilogy, they might choose to do chemistry and physics, or physics and biology, for example. For the most able students, there will still also be the opportunity to study the triple science. So what I mean by that is they study single GCSE biology, single GCSE chemistry, single GCSE physics. But historically, the vast majority of our students tend to do the double GCSE. What we're looking to do is maybe split it into 2 separate sciences. So students will probably pick the 2 of the 3 sciences that they feel the most confident and strongest in as well. Now, this is just an information gathering exercise, and we haven't made the final decision on whether we go ahead from moving away from the Trilogy and just doing 2 single sciences. But again, a bit of an example on the next slide. This student has decided that they would prefer next year to study single GCSE biology and single GCSE physics. So it's purely a bit of an information gathering, see what students' preferences are, and then we'll make a decision about where we go forward with the science in September 2019. Thank you.